sure it's recording. Get recording started. You're good to go.
Okay, I think we're going to get started here. So just a couple housekeeping messages. If you have a question and you need clarification or anything, just type it in on your keyboard and it'll pop up on my screen. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday morning webinar. I'm Jim Meixner. I'm Tim's new agent mentor, filling in for Tim, who happens to be in Meridian, Mississippi this week. Just a couple of reminders. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m., Tim has his training webinar. Also remember to connect to our Friday conference call at 11 a.m. where we will feature an agent that makes it happen. Listen to Richard, who made over $300,000 last year running mortgage protection leads. Look for our flyer with our quarters incentive program in Friday's email, which is a trip to Las Vegas. I would like to introduce you to an executive from Mutual of Omaha, Mr. Adam Chate. We are very proud of our relationship with one of the most prestigious carriers in the world who offers simplified issue, final expense, children's, and accidental death policies. Now, with that being said, here's Adam.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the webinar today. And I wanted to, there might be some people on this call that were out in the Noblesville office last week where I was there. So if you were, it was great meeting you. This will be a little bit of an abbreviated version of that meeting. But did want to jump on and kind of show you how with the Mutual of Omaha history, the strength of the name, and just our broad portfolio on the simplified issue side, how you'd be able to increase your sales as you're making your mortgage protection appointment. So I'll go ahead and jump right into it. So first of all, one of the things that we really focus on at Mutual of Omaha is the strength of our name, our marketing, and just getting out there through our sponsorships to make that sale all the more easier for you as you're going into the appointment. So some of the things that your clients are probably familiar with is our history with Wild Kingdom. And that very popular show that ran for a number of years and still has an online presence. We still do sponsor a lot of professional golfers. We have a Marco Andretti race team, which we sponsor as well, and the USA Swimming are some of the main sponsorships in Mutual of Omaha. You probably see our name pop up on outfield walls for some of the baseball teams out there and things like that. Just keeps top of mind for the consumer. And with that, it's not just our name. We are a very strong, stable, and secure company. So it's a mutual company with solid liquidity, not very high risk. So we didn't get in trouble with the mortgage-backed securities and things like that some of the other insurance companies got in trouble with. And we just remain very highly rated. And here's some of our ratings by AM Best, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's, which are strong across the board. And then getting into the product portfolio, as you're going into your mortgage protection appointments, again, I know that the focus a lot of times is probably going to be a Term Life Express product, and well, ours is called Term Life Express, but a simplified issue term product. So that's the first one I'm going to cover. And it is a complete portfolio of 10, 15, 20, 30-year terms, along with an ROP option, which is our return of premium. Simplified issue up to $300,000, which again would be no blood, no urine, no paramed exam, so not making your clients bleed to get that coverage. And we are available on the IGO e-app for this product, as well as a lot of the other simplified issue products. And another thing to note is it is convertible to our permanent guaranteed Universal Life Express. I won't be giving any details in particular on that product in this webinar, but if you are interested in learning more about that, I'd be happy to give you some information. For our Living Promise, which is our final expense product, and those are both convertible after 2 years. In the product specifications, we, again, simplified underwriting, the terms there. We have the full guarantee, so guaranteeing the premium payment for the duration of each one of those terms, or there are different options where you can do a 5-year guarantee, and the premiums after that would likely increase. The return of premium option is available for the 20 and 30-year terms, and age range between 18 to 65. Face amounts again, $25,000 to $300,000. Now, as far as underwriting goes, you're just going to run through questions 1 through 7. If there is a yes to any of the questions 1 through 7, the client's not going to be eligible for the coverage under this application. This would apply to our Guaranteed Universal Life Express as well, which is on the same application. And then questions 8 through 10. Again, if you're going to answer yes to any of those questions, we ask that you provide some more clarification below. That would be reviewed by the simplified issue underwriting team to determine whether or not they'd be able to qualify for the coverage.
Adam, we have a couple questions here. I want to just kind of throw those out as we go along here. One of them, is there a program available for a 32-year-old male with no driver's license, a DUI, and Parkinson's?
That would likely be our Guaranteed Advantage, our guaranteed issue accidental death policy. I think that's about the only policy I can think of that, since it is a guaranteed issue, we're not going to have really any underwriting whatsoever, and again, only going to protect him in the event of an accidental death, however.
Okay. One other question here. Is the return of premium available in Washington State?
I believe so. I don't have a chart on that one up, so I can answer that at the end if I can pull up the product detail in time.
Certainly. Okay. I'm going to throw out, here's another question. Are you going to increase your living benefits on your term products, the Living Promise final expense? Oh, excuse me, just that question.
Yep. Yeah, so that's something I was planning on covering kind of at the end of the Term Life Express, but we are in fact doing that, so I'll cover that now. So in the second quarter of this year, we are planning on adding a living benefits rider, which is going to have 3 triggers for terminal illness, a life expectancy 12 months or less, chronic illness, which would be an inability to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living or have severe cognitive impairment, and then also a critical illness, which would be life-threatening cancer, heart attack, stroke, major organ failure, kidney failure, ALS. We're going to add that rider at no cost, so there should be a no-cost rider that will allow for a maximum acceleration of 95% of the face, and then, depending upon how much face they're taking out, the policy would continue at that reduced face with an annual limit of the IRS per diem as far as how much you'd be able to accelerate. And also with multiple accelerations for the chronic and critical illness. So we're pretty excited about that. I think it's going to really make our Term Life Express product a lot more popular among the market.
Okay. I hope you don't mind me throwing out another question here. The Living Promise final expense product is convertible in the GUL after 2 years, correct?
The Living Promise, you can convert the Term Life Express into Living Promise. Living Promise, you wouldn't be able to convert into the Guaranteed Universal Life Express.
Okay. Okay. Continue. Go ahead, please.
Yep. All right. So some of the additional no-cost riders on Term Life Express, the accelerated, and this is where it stands now, not talking about the living benefits rider that's coming next quarter, but the accelerated death benefit provision, if you have less than a 24-month life expectancy, you can accelerate that and get up to 92% of the death benefit. We do have a residential damage waiver of premium, where premiums be waived for a 6-month period. Same thing goes for an unemployment waiver of premium. And then a common carrier death benefit. So if the death occurs due to, a train crash, a bus crash, an airplane crash, something of that sort, the additional death benefit is going to be worth up to the lesser of 100% of the original face amount, or $250K. Then some additional for-cost riders would be our disability income, the return of premium, again, which would be available on the 20 and 30-year term, the waiver of premium due to disability, an accidental death benefit rider, as well as a dependent child rider.
Another question, please. Are the, and you may have to answer this at the end when you get your chart, but are the waiver riders available in Maine? So I think we were going to check the state of Washington as well. But, if we write a TLE policy now, can we get the living benefits at a later time?
I do not believe so. They haven't published any transition rules, but typically it would be what's available within the policy at the time of issue. And again, that might be different since it is going to be a no-cost rider, but I don't believe that would be the case.
Okay. And what constitutes residual damage for the waiver of premium? We're
talking the waiver of premium due to disability, or are you talking about the residential damage? Probably.
Yes.
Not residual. Okay.
Residual.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Residential. Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, it would be. You know, I think they're going to be each measured individually, but if it's something that happens to the house that's going to be a big cost, and you're able to provide proof of that, that's where we would be able to waive that premium.
Okay.
Then as far as the underwriting for Term Life Express, you can see the chart there and what's required for ages 18 through 50 on both Term Life Express and Guaranteed Universal Life Express, as well as issue ages 51 through 65. So the main takeaway is for our current process, the mandatory phone interview on ages 18 through 50 is going to take place above 250,000. All else, it would be a random phone interview, as well as on the age 51 through 65, there's a mandatory phone interview for ages 61 through 65. Rate quotes, so WinFlex is currently available to download from our website. It's going to be under Product, Term Life Express. We also do have an offline calc tool, online and offline calc tool, that you can download from Google Play or the App Store, and that's our Quotes for Sales Professionals. So if you just go in and search Mutual of Omaha, or you can even put in Quotes for Sales Professionals, you should be able to find this. It's available for download. You don't need to put in your license number or anything of that sort, producer number, and you can quote a lot of the Express products as well as our fully underwritten term. And that's just a look at using that tool. All right, then getting into the next product beyond Term Life Express, as Tim mentioned, you know, being able to go in and offer a little bit of term, a little bit of perm, and a little bit of AXI. The Living Promise, our final expense product, would be the perm solution. And what you see is, you know, we have issue ages on the level benefit from 45 to 85 with a minimum face amount of $2,000 up to a max face amount of $40,000. Then on the graded benefit, it would be 45 to 80 with a minimum face of $2,000 and a max face of $20,000. And based upon how the application is answered and potentially any MIB or prescription checks, that would determine which product would be able to be written. Look at some of the sample rates, just for a male age 60 non-tobacco, looking for $10,000 with the level benefit, as well as the level benefit with accidental death rider, and then a modified benefit, which is what we kind of term our graded benefit. And with the graded benefit, any deaths due to natural causes that occur during the first 2 years, the beneficiary is going to receive 110% of the premiums paid. Now, after the first 2 years, if the death occurs, they'll get the full benefits. And if that death happened to occur in the first 2 years but was due to an accident, they would also receive the full death benefit. And where that's not available is Arkansas, Montana, North Carolina, and Washington. As far as the graded death benefit, only the level benefit is offered in those states. And with the accelerated death benefit for terminal illness or nursing home confinement, we do add this to all level benefit policies automatically. And if you're diagnosed as having a terminal illness that within a reasonable degree of certainty is going to result in the insured's death within 12 months or less, they'd be able to qualify for the accelerated benefit, or if they've been confined to our nursing home for 90 consecutive days or more and are expected to remain confined for the duration of their lives. And just a look how the terminal illness is determined. So 6% of the death benefit is reduced from the face along with a charge of $100. And then we also would take into consideration any loan, any due unpaid premiums to come up with the number for the terminal illness. And the nursing home confinement benefit, death benefit again multiplied by the applicable nursing home acceleration factor, and then a charge of $100 minus any loans. So again, this is going to be automatically added, and there's just a couple of brief examples there on what the terminal illness benefit would look like for a male non-tobacco age 60 at issue with 10,000 face, as well as a female with the same criteria there for both the terminal and the nursing home confinement.
Question here, Adam.
Yeah, sure.
Is there a significant post-underwriting and time delayed to pay a death claim on the living promise when death occurs within the 2-year contestability period?
Well, I assume they're talking about on the graded benefit.
I believe so.
Yeah. So if it is the graded benefit, unless they're disputing that it's an accidental death, again, just 110% of the premiums are going to be paid. On the level benefit, there's not that 2-year look back. It's day one coverage.
Okay.
Now, there is an optional accidental death benefit rider for living promise as well, so very similar to what you'd see in an accidental death benefit rider on the Term Life Express would provide a additional death benefit equal to the policy's face amount if the insured results, or the death of the insured results from accidental bodily injury and independently of sickness and all other causes. And again, this would not be available to be added to the graded, only the level. As far as underwriting goes, it's a very basic process. You look at all Part 1 questions on the application. If all of the any of those questions are answered yes, they're not going to be eligible for either coverage. If the insured answers yes to any questions in Part 2 on the application, they would only be eligible for the graded death benefit. And we do have the ability, if they apply for level and they qualify for graded, we can issue the application with an amendment. And conversely, if they answer no to all questions in Part 1 and Part 2, they would be eligible for the level benefit plan, assuming there are no contradicting results from the MIB or pharmaceutical check. So I won't read through these, but this is just a look at the Part 1 questions. That are the knockouts where if any yeses are answered, they would not qualify for either coverage.
Question here. Most life companies are taking 3 to 6 months to pay a death claim on a level plan if death occurs in the 2-year contestability. Is that pretty common?
I have not heard that, but I can certainly try to get some metrics back from our team on how quickly death claims are being paid out.
Okay.
That's living benefit in particular.
All right. And another question, can you apply for a level if that is turned down? Could you write a graded policy?
Yes. Yeah, so that was on the little middle bullet there. If the level benefits applied for and client only qualifies for the graded, we can issue with an application amendment.
Good.
Yep. Now, the last thing with living promise applications, we do have an optional comment section. If there is anything in particular that you think requires or would help in putting some optional comments, I know some carriers say that might slow things down. We actually find it reduces delays on our end. It reduces the need for potential follow-up phone interviews. So if there's something that you want to provide a little more detail to, please do so in the optional comments on the application. Then again, as far as underwriting go, the producer is looking to complete all the questions on the application and review the build chart, which we do have available on our website. And then the home office, we're going to be running the MIB, and then a pharmaceutical report, as well as completing random phone interviews for Living Promise. Now, what's new at Mutual of Omaha is just as of the beginning of this month, we rolled out the Aptical point of sale phone interview process. So we've partnered with them to make that available to you for Living Promise only at this time, but we are hoping to expand that to our Term Life Express in the near future. So that allows you to call into Aptical at the time that you're completing the application. You know, they would be able to fill out the application. You call Aptical, hand the phone to the client. They're able to go through the personal health interview with the client, and also after getting their verbal authorization to run the MIB and pharmaceutical check, they can give you the results when that interview is completed. So you get back on the phone, and Aptical will notify you based upon those results whether they're going to qualify for level, qualify for graded, or if they're going to be a decline. And at that point, you can leave the house with a decision, and it's pending our related record search, which is if they have another application that we find that they've sent in to us in the past, or another policy that we have to research just to see if there's any conflicting information that could potentially change that decision. But for the most part, it's a solid decision you're going to get from Aptical, and that you can feel comfortable is going to stick. And just quickly on the process there, we do have some marketing material for Aptical as well. We kind of talk in more detail through the process, but I did at least want to give you guys a phone number. You can see that you'll need to register for Aptical if you've never used them before when you first call in. So they're going to ask for your name, social, or license number, as well as phone number, just on the first time. And then the Aptical rep, when you complete that interview, is going to give you a what they call a PHI number, a personal health interview number, and you're going to want to record that on the application. That's very important that you indicate Aptical has been utilized, and if so, provide that PHI number.
You may have answered this, but could you please explain the pharmaceutical check?
Yeah, so it's essentially looking back through any prescriptions that the client has taken throughout the years. There's a pharmaceutical database that we're able to access that information just to determine whether certain prescriptions that are on our list of precluded prescriptions.
Okay. Do you think there's ever going to be a time when we can use the Aptical for over-the-phone sale without a wet signature? or without a signature and a paper application?
We're hoping that we can get to that point. It's not on the short-term list of what we're trying to accomplish. I know that we're heading in that direction. We do have iGo available, which is our e-application, which allows for some of that, where you can get the email or either a face-to-face signature on electronic signature, or an email confirmation signature, or the wet signature. But right now with Aptical, the e-application does not apply for this process.
Okay.
So it is something we're hoping to accomplish. So.
Okay. Do we have to do the telephone interview?
Right now, we're not making it required. It's an optional process. I don't know if in the future if we will make it required.
Okay.
But you can still follow the paper process if you prefer at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Then state availability for Living Promise. You can see right now where the level product is only available.
Kind of a generic question. Does Mutual in Omaha have any products that can be written for a non-citizen?
We do have a foreign national guidelines that we can follow. I don't know the specifics without having that information, but I can try and get that out to you following the webinar.
Okay.
Okay. Then as far as rate quotes, again, you're going to have WinSites available, as well as the same quotes for sales professionals to run your Living Promise quotes. And then AML training, since it is a whole life product, you're going to need to complete that, and you can get that through limra.com. Then getting to AXI and how that looks from our side with our guaranteed accidental death. Again, guaranteed issue. There's going to be no health questions, no medical exams, no restrictions on occupation. You have issue ages 18 through 70. Benefit amounts 50,000 to 500,000. So you see this as being a good opportunity when either the client's looking for a little bit more coverage to increase the potential face for in the event that they are protecting from an accidental death. So, you know, if either they can't afford the amount of term that they want, this is a little bit cheaper premium to be able to get the guaranteed advantage accidental death. It's, again, only going to cover in the event of an accidental death. However, it does allow for some added security. Same common carrier benefit would double the benefit amount. And then we also do an auto pedestrian benefit where it would pay an additional 25%. And there's multiple opportunities for coverage here. So family coverage, where you can get a spouse and child with 20% of the primary insured death benefit. And I know we're coming short on time, so I'll kind of fly through some of these, but just some of what it looks like for individual monthly premiums for individual male and female, and the different faces there.
One question. If somebody gets a term plan and they also want to add on the accidental death policy, as far as the premiums go, is that one bank draft or is that two?
I believe that's going to be two.
Okay. And coverage stops at age 80, correct?
Yeah, it's guaranteed renewable up to age 80.
Okay.
Individual with kids, monthly premiums, just a quick look at that. As well as the two adults with kids monthly premiums. So this is the kind of whole family coverage. And then we do have an ROP rider available, issue ages 18 to 50. And this is just showing what percentage of the return of premium would come back at each year. So you see it doesn't until year 4, it's when it starts accruing 1% of the return of premium, and then all the way up to 100% at year 30. And the monthly premiums, looking at with the return of premium for an individual, male and female, between 18 and 50, as well as a family with return of premium. And this is just a quick comparison. So if you're looking at a Term Life Express 15-year term, 15-year guarantee, or Term Life Express 30-30 compared to the accidental death, what the premiums would look like for both $150,000 non-ROP and $150,000 with the ROP. And then the application is very simple, so just completing the information there, and again, there's not going to be any health questions, guaranteed issue. And you must have a license to sell health products for this particular product, and it's also not available in Minnesota or Massachusetts. And as far as the return of premium rider, it's not going to be available in Arkansas, Connecticut, Georgia, or Virginia, and is only available for ages 18 through 50.
Question, when quoting these products, does the site quote engine recognize max?
Does the site quote engine recognize max? As far as will it not quote if you go beyond the max for certain ages and things of that nature, I assume? It does, so it's a nice, if that's what the question is, it does a good job of obviously only giving you the results that would be eligible for certain ages and, you know, and any face limitations. Then again, for this one, it's not on WinFlex. You must use the rate sheet, which we have available on our website. There's a national version, and there's different versions on the rates for Oklahoma, Nevada, Colorado, Montana, and South Dakota. So just quick 80 summary. Again, guaranteed issue, no motor vehicle report, no occupation limitations, no medical underwriting. It's a great solution for somebody that is uninsurable. Multiple combinations of coverage with the individual primary insured spouse, primary insured spouse and child, or primary insured and child. And then the issue ages 18 through 70 and guaranteed renewable to age 80.
Question, a couple questions here. I mean, if a client is turned down on the TLE, will Mutual of Omaha switch it automatically to a guarantee issue or just decline it?
No, yeah, they would have to apply for the guaranteed issue accidental death if they don't qualify for the Term Life Express.
Okay. And on the application, what do we use, the actual or mailing address?
The actual or mailing address for the insured? I assume, is it? It's
I'm
their
looking
legal residence.
Yeah, I'm looking at the question that came across, and that's what's being asked. Okay. Yes, for the insured.
Yeah, it's asking for their legal residence.
Okay.
Okay, so again, we're a little short on time. I'll get through Children's Whole Life really quick so we have a little bit of time for any follow-up questions. Children's Whole Life, again, we kind of went through heading into an appointment, having the ability with our portfolio to offer the term, the perm, and the accidental. We see Children's Whole Life as being a great complementary product to be sold in situations where either a grandparent is looking to kind of leave a legacy, allow some protection and insurability for their grandchildren without needing a parent signature, or parents that have children between the ages of 14 days and 17 years where they would like to provide some coverage for their children as well. So quickly on that, just face amounts of $5,000 to $30,000, allows for some building of cash value. The underwriting is pretty simple, just 2 questions on the application, and we do have that guaranteed insurability rider, which is a great no-cost rider. Allows that child that once they turn age 30, they have the ability to double the amount of the original face. So if it was a $30,000 face children's whole life policy, at age 30 they can increase that to a total of $60,000. They can do that again if they took the opportunity at age 30. They can again add another 30 at age 33, another 30 at age 36, and another 30 at age 39. So a 30,000 children's whole life policy can turn into a 150,000 policy without showing evidence of insurability. So that's a great option. Again, it would only be each time being able to double whatever the original face was. So if it was 5,000 originally, they would only be able to go up to 25,000 in total. And if you miss that first opportunity, you can't take the subsequent opportunities. Then the application submission by grandparents is allowed without providing a signature from the parent, and that excludes Pennsylvania. Again, simple application. There's just 2 pages, 2 health questions. No other forms are included in the app package, and we do have replacement forms available on our website if needed. And just a quick look at what those 2 questions are. Heart, circulatory system disease, birth defect, or mental or developmental disorder, including autism and Down syndrome, yes or no, and then any other chronic medical condition which has required care within the past 3 years, yes or no.
Does this go to age 100?
Yes.
Okay. And one quick appointment question. To become appointed, can they just send in the signature pages signed?
Yes. We can go through, I think, just in time, if that's what the question is.
Okay.
So again, here's just a guaranteed insurability provision, which I already went through. Again, if not increased on that first option, you're not going to be eligible for the future increases. And we do send reminders out 60 days prior to that event. So it's not something that they're going to have to remember to do. If, we will send that reminder out to them. And just a quick look at premiums. Oops, sorry. So it is, you can see that quite affordable. Then available on iGo eApp, just like the other products. So if you are interested in using the e-application process, you can go to our website on our sales professional access under sales tools and find information on iGo. Again, to help cover the costs associated with an unexpected loss. Great for both parents and grandparents, looking to provide protection for a child's future insurability. And as far as your appointments and dealing with your clients, talking with your clients, and providing that security to them, it's another way to provide value with offering multiple policies. Marketing materials, just as with any of our products, there are a lot of marketing materials that you can access from our site. If you want to request information to be sent out to you, we have an order form that you can request brochures, app packets, whatever it is that you might need. I know that Gordon Marketing does a really good job of keeping information on hand as well that I'm sure they're available to you. And then state availability. Not currently approved in Washington. All right, so I think I went through this summary really quick. I'll try and get to the last slide, so I know we're short on time. Electronic application again for each one of those products. And finally, what we're doing in 2017, which we're currently in the qualification period for this year, January 1st through December 31st. You can qualify for the Mutual Sales Leaders Trip, which will be in Laguna Beach, California at the Montage, April 5th through 9th of 2017. And as far as the qualification goes, we're keeping our qualification at 70,000 simplified issue life production credits. And each one of our express products count dollar for dollar towards a credit of annualized new business premium. So our Term Life Express, Living Promise, Children's Whole Life, and Guaranteed Advantage, the 4 that I covered today, as well as our Guaranteed Universal Life Express. You sell 70,000 net issued, and you're going to be able to spend some time with us in Laguna Beach, California next April. All right, and lastly, just some important contact information. We do have our underwriting support center, a case status line, both email, and then you can review your pending reports on our website. And then also contacting our sales support, and all that number is available on this next page here as well. So if you're trying to jot that down, and here's the number and what they do. So we have, any product questions, proposal, software quotes. If you want to order marketing materials or access with our website, as well as just get to anywhere in the company, they're a good place to start to trying to get that assistance. And finally, thank you very much. I know we took questions throughout, so I don't know if we'll have some more questions after we wrap up here, but I really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to learn a little bit more about Mutual of Omaha. Again, I'm the Life Sales Director for Gordon Marketing, so my contact information is there if you have any questions that I was unable to address during the call. And then Dylan Cummings is my account executive that helps with the Gordon Marketing account. He's actually in the Omaha office. I work I'm a remote from California, so and with travel responsibilities, it's always great to have somebody in the home office that can help assist me and kind of be stuck to his desk a little bit more than myself, who's more often stuck to an airplane. So thank you again, and if there are more questions, please feel free.
Adam, one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat what the sales support number is again?
Yeah, there you go. So it's 1-800-693-6083.
Are there any other questions? Okay, Adam, I thank you so much for hosting this seminar, and appreciate everybody's attendance, and we hope to see you on our webinar on Friday morning at 11. Thanks
Thank you very much.
All right, bye now.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.